Not everyone has a chance to grow surrounded by wild animals. For that reason, zoos and safaris have provided us with great opportunities to interact with these beasts, while at the same time we learn more about them and about how we can take action to protect their habitats. Ideally, a zoo is meant to protect these animals, especially those that are in danger of extinction. But sadly, people at the zoos can't predict what kind of guests they're gonna have, and every now and then they've had some visitors who ended up doing some crazy, silly, dangerous things. Today we'll be looking at 10 dumbest zoo guests. That's right, we're gonna look at 10 different people who did things that I hope none of you ever do at a zoo. Because we love animals, and these things are not right. Some videos will be funny, some others will make you angry, some others may end in tragedy. However, the one at the top of the list will probably make your jaw drop. It's something I never thought possible, but it happened. With all that said and done, let's begin, shall we? Number 10. The ones who scratch their names on a rhino's back. Some zoos around the world are aware of how badly we want to be closer to the animals. That's why they've come up with ideas to have activities in which they allow us to pet and feed some wild animals in a safe environment. That's the case of the rhinos at La Palmer Zoo in southwestern France. You can get close to their enclosure and pet these massive animals. That's actually pretty sweet. But zoo authorities might want to change the rules after they found out that a very disrespectful guest engraved names on the back of an innocent rhino. The staff at the zoo were able to remove the names with the help of a brush, without causing any discomfort to the animal. They were outraged by what the visitors had done, but decided not to take any legal action. They did, however, install CCTV cameras and improve their security system, hoping to catch and stop any future events like the one we just saw. Number 9. The ones who threw snowballs. When you're in the snow with your friends, you probably won't be able to resist the urge of throwing a snowball at them. It's kind of an instinct. However, this should not be the case if the one receiving the snowball is not a person, but an animal. Such is the case of these lions in a zoo in Hangzhou, China, where some visitors thought it would be a great idea to throw snowballs at the lions. The staff at the zoo claimed they were not aware of the incident as they were busy cleaning the snow around the facilities. But once they saw the pictures online, they found out about what happened and condemned the actions. Even though big animals like these lions don't get hurt by snowballs, the action is still quite disrespectful, and you can see that the lions did not enjoy it. It all started with one visitor who threw the first ball, inciting others to do the same. The lions huddled together. Once the people were done with the snowballs, the male lion let out a roar of discomfort. Poor big kitties. Number 8. The one who had a cannabis plantation. The protagonist of the next story is not a guest. Instead, we're looking at a loyal and experienced zoo staff who did something quite questionable that I don't necessarily consider dumb, but at the same time I don't fully approve of. This 59-year-old man was cultivating cannabis inside a rhino's cage in a zoo in Austria. The reason why this is such a big deal is because the plantation was, of course, illegal. Austria's government is quite strict about controlling the growth of the plant, and I'm sure they wouldn't approve of this man growing his own marijuana inside the cage. The guy lost his job and the plants had to be removed. Number 7. The ones who killed peacocks for a picture. Some people go to extreme measures to get the best pictures, but trust me, not everyone wants to be in your pictures, and I think you shouldn't force anyone to be in one, and that includes animals as well. However, some visitors at the Yunnan Wild Animal Park in China would probably not agree with me. That's why they forced 2 peacocks to pose for their pictures. But the problem is not necessarily the picture, but the fact that the people were handling them with their hands. Some of them even plucked out their feathers. Sadly, one of the peacocks died a few days after that. The death went under investigation, but the park authorities believe that it was caused by the shock that the animals experienced after being handled by so many disrespectful visitors. Number 6. The man who wanted to be a tiger's meal. I know life can be a bit hard sometimes, but there are so many reasons to keep living. After all, not all bad things last forever. But the man in this video was really desperate and unhappy with his life. He had just quit 2 jobs, and also he didn't like the idea of having tigers in cages deprived from the life they would have in the wild. For that reason, he thought it would be a great idea to jump in their enclosure and let them bite him. I mean, I guess that's one way to protest. Luckily though, the tigers had just finished a large meal. One tiger briefly attacked him, but then he was stopped by one of the zookeepers who shot the animal with a tranq dart. The man was taken into a mental health hospital in which he was treated for depression. I'm glad the tigers weren't hungry, but also the zookeeper says that the tigers are relatively peaceful because they've been bred from captivity. However, what this man did should never be repeated. Number 5. Drunk at the zoo. The effects of alcohol can lead some people to do some pretty crazy things. That is the case of this man who was under the influence of alcohol when he decided it was a good idea to jump inside the lion's enclosure. At first, you can see that the lions are a bit curious, and their sense of wonder just increases as they get closer to the guy. But before the lions were able to move further, people began to throw rocks at them from outside the enclosure. The man, however, started throwing sticks at the people who were obviously trying to protect him. At the end, other guests at the zoo managed to pull the man out and intact. It's clear that animals can be pretty unpredictable, but it's also safe to assume that things could have been worse for this guy if he had caught the lions in a bad mood, especially after having rocks thrown at them. Number 4. The one who attacked a croc. And here's another person who did some crazy stuff while being drunk. This guy jumped inside a crocodile's enclosure in Australia and thought it was a good idea to ride on the animal. Unfortunately, this wasn't just another crocodile. This one was called Fatso, and he was known as one of the scariest crocodiles over there. Fatso was not happy with having this man on his back, so he bit the man's leg and tore some chunks of flesh from it. Ooh, it sounds painful, but I guess that's what you get for messing with the wrong animal while being stupid and drunk. The man was actually pretty lucky. People who are familiar with Fatso say that the animal can easily crush someone to death with just a single bite, so I guess this guy is lucky that it was only his leg the one that got hurt and not his entire body. Number 3. The family that stepped out of the car. Okay, I actually find this one a little bit funny, and that's simply because I can't believe a family did what they did. But you can see that they learned their lessons as the lions were very close to getting them. Seriously, I want to know, what was inside these people's heads? I mean, really, I get it. You want to get closer to animals, but do you really have to get out of your car to do that? Drive-in zoos, or safaris, whatever you want to call them, they are meant to put people in the middle of the action. But that doesn't mean you're allowed to just get out of your vehicle whenever you feel like being adventurous. That's not how things work. Even though you're in a safe place, you are not meant to come this close to animals. But what I really don't get, and what actually makes me mad about this video, is the fact that they even put the life of a toddler at risk. You can see the mother carrying the little kid while they run away from the lions. I'm even surprised that people this dumb were able to have kids. It's really not worth it. Either way, hopefully next time they know a bit better. Now it's time for the day's best pick. I never thought there could be so many people who could be dumb enough to try things like these at the zoo. However, this video proved me wrong. Not only did they put their lives at risk, but they also compromised the safety of some animals. Now, the real question is, why do people behave this way? Let's see, some people are drunk, some want a cool picture, some think they're invincible, some are all pretty much just stupid though. And that's the case of the guy in the picture I'm showing you today. Number 2. Chen in the Den. A man whose identity was not revealed, except for his last name, Chen, decided to go inside a lion's enclosure at a zoo in Taipei, Taiwan. Well, why did he do it? Well, I'm actually not sure. But as soon as he was in, the first thing he did was shout, "Jesus will save you," to the lions. The man-eating, uncomprehending lions. I mean, I guess he wanted to just preach to them? The man fell back on a rock ridge and one of the lions jumped on him and began to attack. However, zoo authorities came quickly to the rescue and shot water at the lions to keep them away, and then they shot some tranq darts to put them into sleep while they took Chen away from them. When Chen made it out, he was taken to the hospital. According to a doctor, Chen had some psychological problems, which explains why he acted this way. Before we move on, do me a favor. My analytics show that only about 15% of you watching are actually subscribed. Come on guys, what's up with that? Can you guys please hit the subscribe button? You guys watch my videos every day anyway, so you might as well subscribe and keep up to date with every video we put out. Number 1. The Fugitive. A man in Australia was a suspect of the killing of 2 women. He was known as an expert bushman as he had been able to avoid the police for 7 years, until they finally captured him and he pled guilty to 18 offenses. However, in his early runaway days, he spent a lot of time living and hiding inside a zoo. He could steal bananas from the elephants, he looked for food in trash cans, and he pretty much camped at the zoo for a long time while avoiding the police. Sadly, he even ate a tortoise while he was there. I would say that was mean and he couldn't really do that, but he's a known criminal, so in his mind he can do whatever the heck he pleases. We really need to be better humans and take care of animals. Whether we're visiting a zoo or a wild landscape, we should always be kind to the species around us and respect them just like we should also respect other people. Have you ever seen a dumb zoo guest? What did they do? Let us know in the comments section down below. With all that said and done, I'll see you all next time. Later, everybody.